Hi, Alex. Want to talk real quick about your submission. So let's take a look at what's going on. I've got these set up and spread. So right now I've got the front cover and the contents page side by side here. So we can see that we've got this nice continuation, this kind of continuation from the front cover to the contents page. However, that continuation is created by color and not necessarily typography. So that was one of the caveats that we had moving from front cover, the cover page, to the contents page. So let's start with the cover page and let's take a look at what we have typographically. So the first thing we notice here is that you've got this kind of centered masthead, and I mean, that's okay. I don't think there's really much else to do with this little one-syllable word. I think it could be presented a little bit larger so that maybe it could just take a little bit more prominent position in the composition. So then you've gone straight to the next thing that I notice here is that there's no grid use on the cover, and that's really apparent. It looks like things were randomly placed, and without a grid, I guess that's basically exactly what's happening. But let me just do something real quick here. I'm just going to draw a quick guide. And to do that, I just want to come right here and draw a guide right there. Something wrong here. I'm not sure why my guides aren't working. So anyways, what I want to do is draw a guide, and I wanted to place it right there to see that this is an alignment, neither is this or this. So I'm just wondering, if we were to draw a grid over this and just to really start paying attention to the typographic grid, including, how big to make these headlines and subheads, I think that would be much more effective. So basically, the other thing we have on the front cover is you've got this headline and then this subhead. But that treatment has been repeated here. Headline, subhead, same type and same headline type, same subhead type. And that formula goes through even to this headline right here. Then over here, you've just got this guy here just kind of like randomly sitting over here. So one of my issues is with the layout, the lack of typographic grid, is that we don't have this traditional magazine, as it were, where you've got a center issue, image in the center, headlines down the side, and then you have this visual transition to the contents page. The reason I wanted that and expected that and kind of drove you guys toward that is that it allows you to experiment with different little typographic compositions within the context of a magazine cover. And that's what we were pushing for, and that's what I think I was trying to stress throughout some of the lectures and some of the videos. So as we move typographically, talk about this over here, again, lack of a real grid. This column here is so much more, wider. It seems like it to be wider. Let me see, that's 8.5, and that would be, my rulers aren't working, so I don't know what, oh, look at that, it worked. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so that is centered, so that's cool. This looks good. These are nice little typographic treatments. The problem is each one's identical. So there's no hierarchy here. In other words, what are the important and what are the sub stories? They all can't be of equal importance, right? Typically, they're of less importance the farther back they fall in the magazine. So you could indicate as such typographically. And again, maybe that might not be the way that a lot of magazines you research do it, but that certainly was the way that we kind of were pushing you guys to take this in terms of showing typographic technique through this magazine. All right, so meet the BlackBerry Prev. Now, typographically, I know you said you couldn't find those settings, but they're right there in the announcements area. If you go down right to, they're right here. One thing I'm noticing in the large rivers that appear in some of the students' justified paragraphs, it's right there under welcome to week 4. So, where was I? So, anyways, but I think you did a pretty good job. I mean, you do have some spaces and some tight, very, very, very tight kerned lines in some areas, and some very, very loosely kerned lines in other areas. Okay. So that needs to be consistent. We talked about having a one consistent, nice headline area and starting the typographic spread around 3/4 of the page. Nice drop cap, good technique. I'm not seeing, here's some weird spacing right there. There are no folios per se. You've got these page numbers in the corners, but those should be full-blown folios, meaning that the one in one corner, one in the other. Then it would say Priv magazine, I'm sorry, Swipe magazine, volume 1, blah, blah, blah. And then in the reverse on the other side. So those were expected. And some of the other expectations were right over here in this announcements area, right here, where all of these things were to be considered fair game when it came to grading. So anyways, I just think, honestly, I think that you're getting the typography. I'm just not seeing the kind of experimentation I'd like to see, Alex. I don't know if I want to call it an effort thing. Only you know that. I don't know that. But I think that this could have been pushed a lot further than it is, and I think you'll agree with me there. So I think that you're doing a good job. I think that there's a few other areas that could make improvement here in this, and I'll make mention of those in grading. But other than that, I think you've got a good setup. Basically, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a magazine that is put together with no real solid visual concept. It just seems like you've gone to this, from this layout to this layout, and then randomly to this layout. So there's not really much visual cohesion, you have to admit, between this and this. Okay, now when I say visual cohesion, meaning both visually and typographically. So, all right, okay, great job. Thanks very much.